Welcome everybody to the Skull Hunter Podcast. This podcast is brought to you by Anchor, your all-in-one platforming needs. This is an episode for sure. Hey, joining us today we have Charles, we have Dad, also known as Carl, we have Joseph, and
Also known as another dad, but
you know, I don't know. His name Carl. His name's Daddy. He's one who's never returned.
Daddy.
Call me Daddy.
okay, he gave you life. I understand.
Yeah, but I should call him Carl. But it's weird to call my dad Carl because it's weird. It was like a backhand as a child, and it's like
corn dog word.
Corn dog.
Everybody knows he's corn dog anyway, so.
Okay, we're gonna refer to my dad as corn dog. I'm gonna try to remember that. I'm gonna put a little tape up.
Corn dog was in the house.
Corn dog in the house. Speaking of corn dog, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Oh, you know, I'm doing good. Office is rearranged for those video listeners or watchers. You watching me? The office is rearranged. We have mice now. We got rid of our gnat problem. There's still one gnat named
Natalie.
Natalie, that's it.
Natalie.
There's a gnat named Natalie that I'm trying to kill, but it's still alive. I put traps up. I did all this stuff. She's just still kicking. I'm assuming it's a she. It's 2022. I can't assume. And we got mice now that we're trying to catch safely. I made a post about it on Twitter, and you guys have clearly made it shown. I need to not kill it. I wasn't gonna kill it. But I made a post on my personal Twitter, and first thing I see from people, don't kill it. So I was like, okay, I won't kill it. I wasn't gonna, but I won't do it now. Now people know. So I'm trying to keep that updated. But besides that, that's all I've been doing. Well, we're gonna ask about Joseph. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Is this? Okay. Well, yeah. Charles is he's off doing his thing. So it's been 2 weeks since we had a chance to chat, and big thing for me that changed is I got back into background acting for film and television.
What?
It's I had talked to my agent a couple of months ago. We wanted to get back into it, but because of the vaccine things, they were like, "Sorry, Joseph, you're not jabbed, so you can't come on set." But little by little, they're starting to ease up on the restriction, and so I got to go do my first background gig in quite a few years, actually, 3 years.
Oh yeah, dude! Congrats.
Yeah, that'd be something pretty interesting to do. Yeah, that'd be pretty neat.
I've always wanted to do that.
I said it multiple times, and I'm sure I brought it up a couple of times with this crowd, is that, hey, if I can get back to doing that job, I would. And I did, and the rose-colored glasses weren't obstructing my vision of the past or anything like that. Getting back to it was as good as I remember it. And as I don't remember if I mentioned this part, but I wouldn't know Jen, my girlfriend of almost 4 years, if I met her on set. Yep, yeah, that's how I met her. So I have a lot of loyalty towards that role, to that job, and it just felt great to get back into it. Here's an interesting dilemma. Well, I resolved it, but I'm gonna bring it up anyways. So you could do one of two things in most film and television, but specifically speaking, background is you can stay non-union, or as I like to call it, independent, or you can join the union. Here in Toronto and Canada, we have ACTRA. I don't know what the equivalent is in the States, and I don't care. But if I were to join the union, and somebody call me out on this, feel free. Commenters, people in Canada, tell me I'm wrong. I would love to be wrong on this, but I actually wouldn't be allowed to do this show unless I ponied up about $5,000. I wouldn't be allowed to do any independent productions. I would be basically like property of the union. I can only do union gigs. So you get paid more and you get lunch first, but it takes away a person's ability to do independent content unless they're willing to pony up the dough for it. So it's an interesting thought, because unions are designed to protect the well-being of actors, and they have come a long way, because there's things that people have put up with in Hollywood and in film that today would be considered like low-level torture. So like if you find out, the more you learn about how the Wizard of Oz was made, the more you're gonna be like, holy cow, people really suffer for their craft.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, it's also interesting to see how a body that is designed to protect people can also hinder a person's well-being, because like, hey, I just want to do a podcast, talk about video games. I ain't got $5,000 for this. Sorry,
Yeah.
guys.
No.
I was just going to say, that reminds me of when they tried to form a whole union because of everything that was going on with Activision Blizzard.
Oh yeah, that did happen. Man, Activision is just a disappointment at this point. Activision.
Also, I found out
is
the dates of when the beta for the new Modern Warfare 2 is coming out, Jordan.
Oh, cool. When?
Near the end of August is the first one that's exclusively for Xbox, and like the open one that they're doing a couple months before the game comes out. It's like beginning of September. And
Okay.
I'm planning
bet.
on playing both of those. And of course, since Sony has an exclusivity thing with Call of Duty figuring there, it's like before Xbox.
Yeah, but they won't. I don't think they're gonna have an exclusive thing for long because of Microsoft owns them. I don't think they're gonna continue out that exclusivity. I don't care. That word that I'm trying to say. They probably won't hold that much longer. I know.
I'm not trying to correct you. I'm working it out for myself.
Okay. Well, that makes me feel a little bit better. Go ahead.
I still have to think and pre-order the game, but I'm just looking forward to when the beta comes out, so I can finally be one of those people that gets their hands on the new Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah,
And
hopefully.
hopefully you'll be freaking convinced to play it when it comes out.
I don't know where I'm gonna be in a month, so I got nothing. I'm looking at properties that's over $100,000. I'm looking at my bank account was a solid $22. Like, I don't know where I'm gonna be in the next few months. So I'm not planning anything further than a week, and even the week is like, we got the podcast. I'll be there for the podcast. The show won't happen without us, but if it's free, I'll probably be there. I'll at least try to be there.
I think the open one is the one that's in September, but I think the early one is one that's in August. But I don't know. I'll keep you updated.
Yeah,
on that.
whenever you figure that out, just keep me updated. Like I said, I'll probably play it. I just won't publicize it for multiple reasons, but mostly so it's not something that I'm gonna force myself to want to do on camera, because I know that was a big deal with the Call of Duty. I just did not like. At first it was cool, and then it was like, I don't like sweating on camera. I'm a fun personality person. Don't like sweating on camera. By the way, I'm surprised, Charles, you're even here, because your stream last night was like 5 hours long.
That's me showing up late
4
to
hours.
it.
Yeah, so I hopped in for a few minutes, and of course it was one of those dead times where there was nothing really going on. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go off to bed. And then like I went to check on YouTube trying to find something to put on while I go to sleep, and I see you're still alive. I'm like, bro, you got a podcast tomorrow. Cool. I kept on swiping, found my stuff, but yeah, you were on for a while last night. How did it go?
It was probably one of the yet another thing, really good pay-per-view, as always with AEW pay-per-views.
Good. I'm
looking
definitely
forward
glad
to
to hear
this.
that.
And I'm looking forward to this Wednesday when they have their version of the War Games match again.
Oh, nice. So, and then if you guys want to see that, it will be CJ the Lone Wolf on YouTube. He'll be live doing that. So, Joseph, you made a TikTok that I wanted to discuss.
Sure.
So we will play it. We'll play it on the screen and edit. We'll play it on the screen and edit right now, and it's him going in the fridge to put eggs back, and he had his eggs lined up in the background. You know, normal chicken eggs, they're brown, okay, they're all brown, and then he had one white one in the middle, and he didn't say anything. This was like one of those perfect bits that you don't need audio to enjoy, and if you were around in 2014, 2016, where memes started coming up, and it's this girl on the couch surrounded by a bunch of nice, well-set, you know, individuals that are a darker color than me, you know, I'm like, oh, that's messed up. Was that your intention?
Okay. Short answer is it was my intention to make that TikTok based off that, but that was not like it. Usually, I don't know if like you get brown eggs more in the States, but here in Canada, I mean, as far as me and Jen are concerned, we typically get the white eggs. So,
cheaper.
and then our fridge has one of those trays that you can put the eggs onto. So for the first time in like probably since I really came into the apartment, we got brown eggs, and so I'm loading them up and I'm putting them in, and I stop and I realize that I guess my method for starting from like the back and left and go clockwise, and I'm looking like, oh my god, this is like because, and I realized I saw that image, and I okay, oh my god, no, just what has happened to my imagination? So I put all the eggs back, set the phone up, and I redo exactly what I went through for the TikTok video, and that's what I like. That's the fun for me of making my TikTok videos is like what's spontaneous, what comes to my mind, and how quickly do I go from what I think to actually turning that into the video. And the meme that it's based off of, it wasn't just that one image that circulated. People did variations of it. There was like a 16-bit version of it. There was like, I don't know. I want to say avant-garde. There was like a minimalism version of it where it's a white pixel and 4 black pixels or 5 brown pixels.
Let me show the actual photo of this. This is
that one.
This is the photo his TikTok was based on. Now, if we go over, and I'm only doing this for the visual side, even though we already played it. Hey, you posted another TikTok. I'll watch that in a minute.
It'll take 4 seconds. Just play it now. I want to get your reaction.
Like it was absolutely great because it's so natural to where you're just like, okay, put him in. What did I just no it's like I watched it about 6 times. I sent it to my girlfriend Brittany and she was so confused. She just didn't know why I just sent her a guy putting away eggs, and I was like, you not get the reference? She's like, what reference? I'm done. Like, I don't got nothing, and you don't understand the reference. I'm sorry, but that was
I'm glad you got it.
I was
yeah. So my sense of humor goes into 2 camps: stuff that I can't wait to show my mom, and stuff that she's never gonna see so long as I live.
Where does that rank?
Play my new TikTok. It's like 4 seconds. I want to get your reaction.
Okay, play
Jordan live reacts to my new TikTok.
Play it live. Like as soon as it's in the edit, play it live on the screen.
Hey, can we go to Hooters? I need to practice making eye contact.
I think that's 4 seconds well spent.
Dude.
I got so much pent up energy from missing it on Vine.
I absolutely love that. Okay, so yeah, let me like it. So I love how all this comes back to the one TikTok that got shadow banned saying hobbies you can do, kill a man and just continue on going. That's great. I had Hooters. I finally had Hooters for the first time. Didn't go because I'm a little chicken. But I went to me and Brittany.
I've never been either.
Got some Hooters delivered, and we got some fish and chips. Don't just don't do it. It is so flavorless. It's not even funny. There was no seasoning, barely any salt on the fries. The fish was like watery, but it was cooked. It was honestly flavorless. Like I've been to gas stations. Guy. What?
I'm just saying, like you get it delivered, and it wasn't,
No, it wasn't one of them. It was some poor lady. Dude, like the whole entire time, me and Brittany, we went to a hotel for her birthday, and we were ordering in food and stuff like that. All 3 DoorDash ladies dropped them off, waited at the end of the hall, being like, "Have a good one." This one was not in sight. I didn't get the notification until I'm pretty sure the elevator closed. It's like she did not want to stick around. I was like, I ordered it in. You don't know if I'm a girl and I just like fish and chips. You don't know that, but maybe a serving for 2 kind of threw it off. But yeah, it's not worth it. If you ever want to be like, I want to have Hooters food, you're not going to Hooters for the food. If you're one of the people that's like, I love Hooters for its food, stop lying to yourself.
I watch
Stop.
those films for the story.
I watch
Exactly.
porn
I
for
will
the
say,
story.
oftentimes the story actually does enhance things. So I just
Yeah, sometimes it actually does.
just
Yeah,
wait.
I mean,
yeah,
you know,
like it's really important. You don't just
yeah,
just banging dolls together. Even if I'm playing with toys, there's context.
yeah, exactly.
Welcome to Skull
I
Hunters
know
After
anything
Dark.
about if I know anything about freaking Hooters, people only ever go there for either girls with a freaking giant or the giant freaking rear end.
Dude, the worst part is their Google listing had a bunch of old creepy men or like little 12-year-olds next to the girls. If that was me in 12 years or 12 years old, it probably would have had no effect on me. But I would have probably been like, oh, cool, this is so unrealistic. This would never be a girl that I'll ever date. But like, the food is not great. But you
People
know,
only go for Hooters for the beer and faking the girls with the giant.
you go
heard-
there for the tits.
Well, I heard the wings are okay.
You know
Like,
what?
yeah, you know what I mean? Like this is, this
Yeah,
is
I
us
mean,
trying to.
unfortunately, like you hear some things are good. I'm not gonna try it again. Like after I get disappointed the first time, and especially like $32 later, not even including the shipping fee, it's not worth it. Like I was just like, no. Buffalo Wild Wings, I at least have good references saying it tastes so good, the flavor is good. I'm like, okay, I'll try that. But when you spent $30 on some fish and chips and it's flavorless watered fish and just
Yeah, just be
Here's-
nasty.
yeah,
it's not worth
yeah.
it.
And also,
I have a question. So I've been up in Canada several times. Do they actually have any places like that up there?
we have a Hooters here.
Oh, Deans?
As far as I know, we've only got the one. It's in downtown Toronto.
I got you. Yeah, I've been all
Yeah.
through Canada and up at Yukon and everything else. I was kind of wondering. I never actually seen one.
I'm sorry, Jordan, but I don't know why that was funny. We have a Hooters. Like, what?
That's
He was
bad.
dropped on his head many times when he was young. So you have to just.
That's
So-
bad. I was gonna freaking say if you guys had asked me how my freaking past week had been freaking, I went. You don't want to know how much money I freaking spent. There's one place me and my girlfriend went at the mall.
Hooters?
Hey Charles, how was your week?
It was pretty good besides work-related bullshit. But when me and my girlfriend went to the mall this past, like last Tuesday and everything, we went to Dave and Buster's because it was like the only place my girlfriend wanted to go to because she didn't want to go to any of the other restaurants that was there, even though I would have liked to have Burger King, but that's just my opinion. I spent freaking $50 on a freaking giant freaking platter of nachos and both of us getting burgers and fries and everything. The freaking one of the buns on the burgers was freaking almost hard as a rock, but wasn't that. It was actually alright burger. The server was really nice too. But freaking it's just freaking ridiculous how overpriced freaking Dave and Buster's was. It's for the freaking food.
Oh god, that was at Dave and Buster's. I'm so sorry.
I've never eaten a Dave and Buster's either,
No.
so I couldn't tell you.
So-
We've got one of those here in Toronto.
I'd
as
imagine
well.
that'd be expensive. Well, I think they were actually originated up that way, weren't they? Was Dave and Buster's originally a Canadian owned company or something up there?
I can look that up, but I ain't got that information.
Yeah, I'm not
offhand.
100% sure, but yeah. But
Right?
so let me see the car you've been sitting there holding in your hands, waddling around for like 20 minutes.
It's the one thing that I got when we were at the mall. It's a great.
Is that what you spent the $50 on? Was the car?
Forget the food. He just bought the car.
That's actually
that's
nice.
cool.
Grave digger, yeah. That's a nice
This
car.
was my freaking childhood growing up when I used to watch Monster Jam. Dennis Anderson driving this freaking monster truck, and I'm still fucking pissed I never got his autograph, but I did meet Tom Metz a bunch.
Yeah, grave digger used to be a big name a long time ago now. Started up.
Still is, just with different people, and pretty much all of his kids driving that thing. The thing is,
Well, how
dollars.
much-
Surprisingly.
With his name on that card, how much that set you back?
Well, it was on sale, so I only spent like $56 or $57 on it.
Yeah, I
It's out of the
figured with his
lineup,
name
but-
on it. Yeah, with his name on it, I figured it'd be up there pretty good.
This is one diecast I always wanted because, like I said, I grew up watching Gravedigger. When I seen that he was going to be driving this car, I screamed my fucking lungs out.
Okay.
Real quick, it says it originated in Dallas. So
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't
In
sure.
1982. Just
I would have thought older than that, but I guess because they when they combined, there had to have been arcades at the time. And just Charles, I got a question for you about NASCAR. Did you ever see like custom models that you can like paint yourself or even adorn with your own choices of stickers?
Yeah, I remember. I have
Cool.
a couple of cars. My Keo camera
Sick.
downstairs. I mean, my dad put together when I was a kid.
Right on. I figured that would be something that a NASCAR fan would be interested in doing, kind of making their own
They
version
have
of a
model
car.
kits of cars you can put together too. I just don't have time to do that. Neither does my dad. They also got this little mini one that's a 10-year anniversary of Dale Senior's Daytona 500 winning car. When this came out, they still had the cars that ran these giant wings on the back, which looked freaking stupid as hell, by the way. And this was basically a car celebrating its 10th anniversary of when Dale Senior won the Daytona 500. And when I seen this thing on eBay, I was like, "Yep, I'm fucking buying this car," and I did.
Oh, cool.
so how much money did you spend? Like, do you know how much? Don't say the number, but do you know how much you spent on the cars and all your diecasts that you bought that day? Do you know how much you spent on it?
That one I got a couple days ago, and that was only like freaking.
But no, don't tell us the number. Okay, we're gonna add that in there. Let's play our new show. Is that price right? Okay, let's all play the game of how much money did Charles spend, what his bank account currently looks like. Corn Dog, how much do you think he spent on all of it?
I tell you, he probably spent about $75, and he's probably got about 30 left in his bank account.
Okay. Okay, Joseph.
Is this just the one car, or is this lifetime?
This is all he bought, and the Dave Buster's and two things, just two things. So
120
70.
with $50 left over.
Okay. You said $50 left over. I'm going to say, cause I know anything.
Swear to God, if you say $121, I'm quitting the fucking show.
I'm gonna say, because I know it's a sport and it does get expensive, but I also know the real life side of Charles. I'm gonna say he spent. I know he has $112 in his bank account, and I'm going to say he spent $80 on those two things. Charles, what is the amount?
That $5 more than Corn Dog's guess.
No, his was 70. Shut the fuck up.
Oh, $10 more. Oh, well, excuse me.
We need to answer.
Vast universe of numbers.
Sad
available.
part is, freaking your dad was the closest one, Jordan.
The system works.
What was it? How much was it then?
This thing was like I said, it was like 56 or 57, I forget, and that one was only like less than 20.
50 to 20.
And how much you got left in your bank account?
22 and some change, and that's after having to borrow some money from Indeed.
Damn, I'm good. Damn it, I'm good. Yeah.
What? What? Okay, you know what, editor? Cut this part out. This never happened. This never happened, okay? Never happened.
He yeets the clipboard over his shoulder.
What happens when you create a game on the fly, bites you in the ass every time?
I've been playing a lot of freaking Pokemon Sun on my 3DS.
You gotta remember, I've been buying this when I was younger. I mean, by the time, well, it was probably been when your second or third oldest brother was sick. I sold off my collection of Hot Wheels and Matchboxes.
Yeah.
You know, so I collected up until I was in my 20s before I get rid of the collection. But yeah, they're pricey.
Yeah, and that's why I wasn't going higher than yours, but now I'm like, because I was at 80, you're at 70. I'm like, ooh, but if it was 80, though, I'm closer. But no, we're just going to give Corn Dog the win. He gets the win.
He'd have paid full price for that bigger car, that bigger die cast. He'd have paid full price for it, and he'd be up around. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean,
I got that one on sale.
We could say I was right, then.
Yeah, but you're not.
Oh, we can say that.
This is your podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right.
Well,
You can edit it, make it sound like you want to, but
no,
When I
it's...
went to the Lionel store, they were having a 19. This thing was not one of the cars that had 90% off sale on, and I got lucky. I was able to get this even then. 56. I was lucky that I only spent $57 on this thing at most.
Yeah.
you
no,
said at a Lionel
good
store,
grab.
like a Lionel train store type place.
Yeah, they sell NASCAR
Oh.
diecast too.
Man,
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you're
probably
talking money.
drive.
You go to a store like that. That's for sure. You start getting into trains. You're really talking some expensive things.
Yeah, I don't collect anything besides. No, I don't think I collect anything. I wish I had a collection of something. Like I wish there's like
I don't
something that.
collect shit no more. I collect friggin' dust. That's all I collect. And apparently blood clots. Yeah, but
Well, you have a pretty high number of them. Please don't tell me you have any current, right? They're all
yeah, I got 2 of
dissolved.
them.
They're not
No,
dissolved yet.
No, I got one in my left side, and I got one in my heart chamber. Or my artery going to my heart, 80%.
It hasn't went down yet.
No,
I thought it was
disappeared to get the stents put in.
I thought it was supposed to like start deteriorate. God damn it! Drink more
It'll
juice.
get there eventually.
I did a little bit of reading about blood clots because I thought I might have one. They, you can't exactly burn them off on the treadmill. That's the problem with
No.
them.
Nah, it's not something that you can do with that, but you can do things for over time. It starts breaking down the cells.
Yeah,
and get it
when
going.
your career is 20 years of sitting driving down the road, putting millions of miles behind you, it's
Yeah, it
you
builds up, and
I'm on stuff to help get rid of them, but it's not gonna be a fast process whatsoever. It'll take time, but it's coming. You know, it's getting there.
okay, well, let's just make sure nothing negative happens this year, okay? let's just keep this year
What's
going
it?
good.
This is an odd or even year. That's an even year. We should be all right this year. Next year I
Okay.
might die, but this year we should be good.
Yeah, 4th of July is coming up, so please don't do anything. I know you already blew yourself up, but just let's not do anything else. Let's not do anything
First
special.
time.
Let's not do anything special.
Myself up many times. I still came back. I mean, there for a while, but freaking from that
Gunpowder.
explosion in the fire. Yeah, I looked like freaking. Well, we ain't gonna go there, but yeah, it was an
The
experience.
fact that no one else was hurt, like that was the biggest like, wow. Only one that got hurt was you. And the explosion went everywhere, and you're the only one that got hurt. Like that was actually just amazing. For those of you who may not know, my dad blew himself, or my brother blew up my dad, because he's not here to defend himself. So my brother put gunpowder over a fire pit to hand to him, and it blew up in his face with plastic shards as shrapnel. And so yeah, my brother blew up my dad. If he wants to defend himself, he can be the next guest. That's how we get guests on the show. Just accuse them of assault.
I saved your one brother. I shoved his ass out of the way just as the flames went up.
That is true. That is true.
He's bitchy, has thin eyebrows. I'm looking like freaking. Yeah, watch what I say. I'm not trying to offend anybody, but you know,
it was not pretty.
It was different. Yeah, it wasn't pretty.
It wasn't pretty. You've saved like every one of your kids' lives at this point. Like I remember as a kid, like you pulled me out from a TV falling, and I still think I died that day. I might just be living in some weird reality, but I just remember like. I remember the TV fell, it took so long, and then all of a sudden you were there. I didn't know you were home that day. And that's the part I look back to. It's like, I thought you were gone on the road, and then all of a sudden I remember you pulling me out. Like, it was just a weird coincidence. I'm like, he saved my life. And then you asked me to save yours, and I'm like, bye. See ya, I'm out. Nope. But, no. It's all good. But, yeah.
I also remember when I think I was like 4 or 5 years old, my dad had to pull me out of a pool. I fell in, and at the time 4 feet was deep enough for me to just go under the water. And I remember the whole thing, except I don't remember how long I was underwater for. I just remember going under, and then all of a sudden, just that force of just like being pulled out of it. Yeah, it's freaky. I still remember that.
Yeah, I still remember the TV thing, but it's so weird because it's like I remember it as like. It happened, and it's like I remember it falling clearly as day, and then it's like a huge pause, and that's all I remember is just a huge pause, and I felt like I was talking to someone. It could be God, I don't know, I'm not religious, but like I just remember a huge pause, and then all of a sudden, this was in Louisiana, so already a terrible place, but then Dad was there, and he's just like pulled me out of the side as the TV fell, and I'm like. And I'm so confused, like, how did that? But I'm not gonna argue. I'm here, baby. Like, I'm not gonna argue with the fact that I'm here. But it's like it's that weird experience. You go, what happened? Like, that's weird that you can remember. But it's like, it stops you from fully remembering. I hate it. I don't know if it's just trauma. Maybe I have a weird some PTSD. Let's try to drop something else on me. See if I have the same result. Someone film it, put it on YouTube, put it on that YouTube life. But speaking of things that are on the YouTube life, Resident Evil is kind of blowing up. They went trending twice in 2 weeks. They released a Resident Evil 4 remake. Actually, the same podcast that Corndog was on. We talked about the Resident Evil 4 remake and how that could be a great thing or a bad thing. But the next week goes by. Resident Evil The Village. Massive spoilers. If you have not played the game, do not watch the spoiler. But I will tell it in a way that doesn't spoil anything. They are releasing a DLC that lets you play as Rose's story after the game is over. So after the game is over, you get to play as Rose. And it looks so cool because Rose is kind of like a specialty situation. You even just watching a trailer of Resident Evil 8, you find out that Rose, Ethan's daughter, is special. That's all you know, and that's all I'm going to say. And you end up playing as her. Massive DLC. No one saw that coming. We thought you would play as Chris in the game because Chris, he just wanders off in places and he's there to next. So we thought you played as Chris. The DLC is announcing to release in March, and you get to play as Rose, the daughter, all grown up. On top of that, they also release a new mercenaries where you can play as Lady Demetrius. Yeah, a little step on me, mommy. You get to play as Lady Demetrius. You get to play as one of the other guys in there. You get to play as Chris in the mercenaries. So they went from letting you play one person, that's Ethan, to now giving us 3 more characters to play as, more maps to play on in the mercenary mode, and more to complete in the mercenaries. And on top of that, this is what blew everything out of the water, is they are giving a third-person mode. So if you're one of those people, like my mom, she can't play first-person games, they are letting you play in third person. They have those options that are coming out this October, and that's awesome because it kind of goes on what me and Joseph talked about with the Resident Evil 4 topic, if we think it's going to be first person or third person because of the complete sides of difference. Seeing that, I think we can look forward to seeing it in third person, Resident Evil 4, because that they're taking a game that was already made and turning it back into a third person game. So I think we can expect Resident Evil 4 to be that way, but I want to know you guys' opinions on the new updates to Resident Evil 8, The Village. Obviously, if you haven't played it, there's no spoilers that have been released today, but if you watch the trailer, it's a massive spoiler, so highly warn you on that. The trailer will be linked down in the description below. But yeah, what are you guys' opinions on the updates that I've told you?
Yeah, I guess I'll go first. So
Go ahead.
my first question is actually like, is this the first time they put DLC into a Resident Evil game?
It is
No.
not the first time, but this is the first time they did it for Resident Evil 8, The Village. And this has been the only update this game has seen. With Resident Evil 7, they've released 2 DLCs at once, and then later on released another. This one had nothing. The water's been cold for all this time, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, boom, now we get something.
I mean, just from my standing, like I haven't played that one, and there are a couple ones in the series that I haven't played through. 5, well, actually, I guess really past 5, because at that point, being a Nintendo guy, they became a lot less accessible.
Yep.
So, and now I got like a bunch of other things I got to do, so it's a little hard to like go through and check them all out. So I from a consumer point of view, I mean, yay! It might what it could do is lead to a better value proposition. If down the line they're going to sell the game, they're going to include all the DLC, all the extra content, and it's going to be wrapped up in a nice package, and I'm going to save some money on it. Great, yeah, sounds good to me. But actually, until that time, that actually like diminishes my putting it on the list, just because now I know I'm going to pay for it, and now I'm not getting everything involved in it.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to think about like, how does the DLC influence or affect the main game? A good example of this is whenever you get like an open world game and they give you like new toys to play with or new things to explore on that in the world, and now the player is thinking, no, I'm getting a subpar experience by design.
Yeah, because it kind of goes back to what I've always said about like Resident Evil 8 was fun because it's a completed game and everything
Because it's
else.
a finished game, yeah.
And it kind of does counteract that whole want. And this DLC, you don't have to get it to enjoy the Resident Evil experience still, but it still kind of counteracts that it's not the full game and it has add-ons and this add-on they're releasing has nothing to do with the storyline. Like, they could have made a DLC to the only thing it does is play as Chris' story. Cool, they're not adding on to the game, they're just telling you what's happening in Chris' side. No, they said, okay, let's ignore all that, let's go 15 years in the future, and let's play as the daughter after Resident Evil 8. So they're now adding way new stuff to the game instead of going off of what they had. So even then, I can't even argue with the fact that they're literally taking what I said and throwing it out the window. Like, they are doing that 100%. I mean, they're literally taking a game that was finished, it was fun, it was full, it had everything, it had that wonder, and said, okay, DLCs, right? They just did that. So I will admit, like, yeah, that's disappointing, but the real excitement there is maybe getting a better, honestly, just a better experience. I think is what I'm mostly looking forward to with it, is you get the better experience of being able to get to see what happens. So at the end of the game, this is not a spoiler, but at the end of the game, you get to see Rose, and then all of a sudden you see Ethan, and it ends. It ends abruptly. They're like, oh my god, what's happening? Why is Ethan there with his daughter? Why does he not look any different? All this stuff. So it's a big like, oh my god, what happened? And then you go into this update, and it's like, oh, you get to play as Rose after that happened. They're just adding on to the game, and I love it because it helps give out the rest of that storyline. But why wait a year? That's what concerns me. Why wait over a year?
Capcom still has a lot of clout. Like,
Big time,
they really are a great publisher. But you can see how the end of and again, I haven't played that, but you can see how that ending is designed to directly agitate players to want to find out what happens. Oh, well, now we're going to put the solution, we're going to put that resolution out into this DLC so you can get the closure that you've been wanting. And that kind of rubs me the wrong way, because they could just as easily have planned out a satisfying ending with something a little more open-ended. But now you have to play the DLC to find out, like, why did it end abruptly? What happened? Those questions could have been answered just from the credit sequence, and now players have to take the extra step to have those questions answered. And the other thing, I'll just get this out of my system too, but the thing that I have to make peace with is that, as a gamer, we'll never have the money or the time to consume all the things that we want to play and consume. This is where I really think streamers and Let's Plays are pulling that weight, just so that people can at least stay involved in the conversation and enjoy the content, even if it's vicariously through somebody else. Better than nothing.
100%. Real fast with Resident Evil. So after Resident Evil 5, they've been giving us teaser endings. So after Resident Evil 5, with Resident Evil 6, they gave us so many like teaser. I'm gonna get you, Natalie. But they've been giving us so many like teaser endings. Like for one, Resident Evil Revelations, it's an underrated Resident Evil series. It at the end literally gives us the fact they successfully sold the virus that was on the boat to the highest bidder. They got it out of there. They snuck it out as officials, and they snuck it out and sold it to what's equivalent of Umbrella Corporation. They left up with a teaser. Resident Evil 6, they did the same thing. Resident Evil Revelations 2, they did was the same thing with the little girl that Barry has to bring around, Natalia.
Yeah.
They did the same thing with her. She's at the end of the game, you see that she's not Natalia anymore. She's someone else. She's Alex, Wesker's sister.
Well, so spoiler alert for the ending of Resident Evil 2. Now we're going back a ways, but in the ending for that, Claire and Leon, they get out of the tunnel and they beat the big blob monster on the train, and then Leon says, "Hey, it's going to be up to us to take out Umbrella." So even even going back now to the original Resident Evil, the helicopter flies away, everyone's okay, but Umbrella wasn't stopped.
Yeah.
Like, so
They
so
actually
even
started
from the
leaving
very
teasers
beginning,
way
players
sooner.
at least got the idea that this is part of a much bigger story that's happening. So we are seeing that unfold, but at least players are getting their micro closure while the macro story is still happening.
That's true. So what is something that we feel like we can see from Resident Evil, Capcom specifically, but because they gave us all these like little teaser endings. They given us endings where Umbrella's still around. Even in Resident Evil 8, Umbrella's still around. But it's because of the guy who built the mansion was involved up there when he was younger. So it has to do with him there for that reason. But Umbrella, it's still there. We have the BSAA taking over. We have the viruses getting sold to the highest bidder. We have Wesker's sister alive. We have Wesker's son alive. We have all this stuff alive,
Yeah,
and Resident
Jake.
Evil's not doing anything about it. So what do we think Resident Evil's next steps is going to be to sit there and like even wrap up their story? Like
And the
how?
thing is, they left enough pieces of the puzzle sitting out there that if they want to continue on, they can easily continue on with no issues whatsoever because the spoilers are already there.
Yeah,
However, if the shit starts shit canning on them and they want to back out, they need to do the same thing. They just kind of back out of it and say, okay, well, you know, it can still end. You know what I'm saying? It can still end there. It doesn't have to move on. But I think they're smart in a lot of sense. They left almost every game at the end, they left it open to sit there and say, hey, we might do this. Let's see how this goes. But
so do you
you
think
also
they're
notice
making a
too that
safety
most
net?
of the time, what's that?
Do you think they were making a safety net in case one fails?
That's what I think they're exactly doing is they're making a safety net in case something fails because it's going to be up to the people who buy the game, play the game, download the game, and the contents. You know, if they say, okay, this was successful, let's go on to the next one. But as you notice, too, not all the time did the spoilers at the end actually match the beginning of the next game.
Yeah,
You
big
know, they were
time.
kind of thrown in there a little bit. You know, it could you could put the puzzles together to kind of okay, it worked. But sometimes that spoiler didn't happen for 2 or 3 games on down the line.
Hmm.
You know, before that one actually came too, because they jumped their storyline so much. You know, so I mean, they're being smart in a lot of senses because they can back out at any point in time they want, or just keep going balls to the wall forward. Us being Resident Evil family, you know, we've been playing Resident Evil since day one.
Mhm.
You know, we want to see them keep going forward. There are games we all enjoy to sit there and play. You know, and so I mean, but
I have a curious question for you as a Resident Evil family.
Hmm.
How much is Resident like how important is it to you from the gameplay point of view versus the story point of view? Like at this point, you know, is it a balance 50-50, or are you playing because you're really following the story after following it all these years? Is it just like we
it is
don't care what the
for us it's like okay it's the game and the story combined. It's a 50-50 kind of thing, and it's also the challenge the game gives you. It's not just going through and shooting people. You know, you got to get through this maze. You got to figure out how to decipher this code. You know, you got to sit there and type the different paths. So it's a challenge in with it, but the game wouldn't be the same if it didn't have the storyline behind it. My feelings. I think it's the way the rest of the family probably feels on that too.
So if you asked me this when I was young, I would have said it's all based on the gameplay. I would have said that 100%. But really getting into Resident Evil experience, I think the story does lie a bit harder on there because like I've talked to my mom about the Resident Evil, not too much to like spoil her, especially now she gets to play it, but I told her like little snippets about it, and it's like you can get the feel of that story. And you only have to play the game, and you're still like, oh my god, like really they're doing that? Like, wait, Chris involved with this? What about his path throughout this? And it's like the story has such a hard telling line to it. Without a good story, the game is useless. We've seen that with the first person Resident Evil shooters.
It's like, you know, there's been a couple other Resident Evil games your mother wasn't able to play because of the motion that with it.
Yeah.
But I went and I played it. You know, so she was still able to kind of sit there and get the storyline. You know, she couldn't play it, but she was able to watch me play at least parts of it, or at least hear it. You know, So it was all for that storyline.
But yeah, I think that storyline is just so valuable to the game. Like I know the mechanic, like the actual like puzzles and the challenge of getting past it. I think it's a big role, but I think if we have to lean on one side, I would have to say like the family in general, like the story would be the most important thing. Because if you just all of a sudden Jill no longer showed up in the series, you'd be like, why didn't she show up? She was literally out here doing this. She got Wesker involved with this, and she had the whole BSAA help her out. Her and Josh flew off in a helicopter to save Sheva and Chris. Like, where's Jill? Like, you would want to know where that is because the storyline had made you so connected with that character.
Yeah, it was like the other day we were playing one of them. I can't remember which one offhand, but I asked her. I was like, between Chris and Leon, who would win?
Chris.
Between Sheva and Jill, who would win?
Sheva.
Yeah, it's the same thing as. No, I don't think. I personally think it'd be Jill.
Sheva,
though, a little
badass,
man. I mean, Sheva's all right, but
Sheva, she's a Africa, bro. Like, she's over there, doing her thing.
Now.
No, isn't Resident Evil 5 based off in Africa?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
I'm talking right. But she's in the BSAA over there. She's dealing with some stuff, and like. You think about Jill, like Jill's did deal with some stuff, but I also think like Sheva doesn't have that witty side. She doesn't have like that like sense of humor side. So if she has to kill somebody, she will kill them. She doesn't care. But Jill, if you put a gun to Chris's head as Wesker, and Chris said shoot, go through him and shoot, Jill wouldn't do it. Sheva would. And because Sheva would take that final step to saying, I can end this now. And that's where I think she would win versus Jill. Like, Leon and Chris will do it because Chris has killed so many people. Like, he was in the Air Force. He did all this stuff. He survived the mansion. He did all this stuff. And then he went to Resident Evil 6 with the whole China incident with people still shooting guns at him. He's dealing with all these massive people. He almost got into a fist fight with Jake. He had the hand-to-hand fight Wesker and won to tell the tale versus Leon. I love Leon, a big Leon fan, but Leon, one good punch, and I'm sorry, he probably would not last too much long. Yeah. So, I think I don't know. Like those questions, I think Chris and Sheva are the winners in that question. I'm sorry, you were making an actual good point. I was just like, whoa, wait.
But yeah, I mean that's how much we get into the storyline in the game and the characters is in this situation, who do you think? In this situation, who do you think? What's your favorite? What's your favorite game out of all of them? It's like we don't have a favorite game, but we have favorite chapters out of each game. There's some games we have more chapters than we liked than other ones. There's a couple of them we actually prefer the mercenaries at the end of it than we did the actual game. So yeah. I mean, but that was because too we were able to play together. In some games we couldn't, because me and her used to playing the games together. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So some we only do that with mercenaries. So that's probably why we prefer that a little bit more than the actual game itself.
And one aspect of it that I also want to mention is this happens a lot in horror games, but I think Resident Evil is probably the best example of it. Is that there is so little knowledge of what's going on for players to go into Resident Evil 1 for the first time. They're in a house and they're being attacked by monsters, and people have like, is it magic? Is it just like the earth just pulling people out of the graves? What's going on? And you slowly start to learn about the deeper implications of it. Mm-hmm. And I actually found like I had a little bit of an easier time actually playing the games once I started learning more about the story, because understanding the context took some of that mystery away and helped me to actually like kind of deal with the problems in it more.
Right. Yeah.
But the first time I saw, like, I don't remember if you were on the episode, but like the first time I'd ever seen Resident Evil, I go with my mom. She goes to visit one of her friends, and I'm tagging along because I can't be, trusted on my own. I'm a kid. That hasn't changed, but whatever. And her kids, who are older, they're playing PlayStation in the living room. So I go see what they're doing, and I'm like, "What game are you playing?" And they said Resident Evil. And don't I watch at the exact moment where they show that zombie chewing on the body for the first time? The head looks towards the camera, and 6-year-old me runs out of the room terrified.
Oh, I'm sure nightmares.
Yeah. I did. But man, do I not regret that experience whatsoever. Like, you cannot get a more potent, pure fright than that moment.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because I didn't even know what I was getting into, right? Like, somebody like, oh, let's go pick up that game. At least we know it's going to be scary. I'm like, I have no idea what's going on right now. This is just a person walking down a hallway. Like, for all I know, it's The Sims, and then that happens.
The Sims. I mean, you're not wrong. You're really not
Because it
wrong.
was more brightly lit in the original run. Like, you watch the GameCube one, okay, now it's like
The
pretty
GameCube
dark.
when there's shadows, it's dark and all this stuff, and Resident
always
Evil 1
raining.
originally, it's like they had to make it bright because you're playing on a 1960s TV that has no actual backlight to it, so you know you're not on anything too great. So, but man, I want to play. I want to have a good reason to sit down and play every Resident Evil game. I wish there was like a challenge base I could do to make
you
me
really
want it.
Really, honestly, you really don't need a reason to do it. I mean, you still got a bunch of stuff you got to complete on some of them anyway. I mean,
Oh yeah, I have
you
a ton of them,
you go
but
through all the achievements and everything else. You know,
I got all the achievements in Resident Evil 8. I got all the achievements in Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 3 and almost in Resident Evil 2. 1, 0, all of them I still have to like go through and really hunt them down. But yeah, it's like I go through an achievement hunt, but for me it's like I'm also like I just want to be able to like play it and geek out and like talk about it. And I'm over there talking about the Brittany. Like I'll be playing it on the couch and Brittany will be next to me. She's like, "Oh, look at that guy. Why is he so fat? Why is he so fat?" And I'm like, "Because he's the Duke. He's the Duke. He's not going anywhere. He sells you stuff and you take the stuff. Why would you buy it from him?" I don't know. He just has it and I have money. Okay, I'm giving it to him.
I couldn't imagine going like from the new Resident Evil back to like 1, where you're like so slow and you know.
Yeah, it would be a
what
massive.
you buying, you know? It's like, oh yeah, the guns, boom, boom, shoot, boom, boom. No, I'm good.
But that
achievements or not, now I'm alright.
like for me, I'm like, ooh, I can get all those achievements, and because it's an older game, it should be easier. No, it's not. Especially the one that's like, hey, don't save. That achievement alone makes me so mad because it's like you have to play it in the easiest difficulty. Well, a hunter can still kill you in one hit in easy difficulty.
Mm-hmm.
And you can still get glitched at a corner of a wall and get bombarded with creatures. And it's like you still have all these problems with the game. The bees can still kill you in seconds.
You can still misjudge your health.
Yeah.
Real quick.
I'm fine. No, you're not fine. That's not what the status says. There is a status.
Heal.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Half an hour to walk across the screen, you know, 5 steps, 30 minutes later. But yeah, it's like we're kicking through now with professional mode and everything, and it's just like.
But then if you're playing Jill
like,
and she says she's fine, like, okay, well, maybe she is, maybe she's not.
Yeah, you'll be all right. You'll be fine.
Like, it's one of those days. Man, yeah, absolutely love Resident Evil and the old games. So I have a quick question. It doesn't relate to anything. Just a quick question. I want everyone to answer yes or no to. Do you believe in ghosts?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I was like, you know what? I don't think I've ever asked this question. So the majority of all agree that we all believe in ghosts. Now this is a question I truly have. What is a habit that you have that you wish you could change? So what is like a habit that you know you have that you wish you could change? I would actually really love to hear this from Charles, because I know like I know him for like 9 years now, so I'm really curious like what's a habit he does that he could wish he could change.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think mine would be smoking, honestly, without going psychotic after not smoking. Would be a plus. But every time I quit smoking, I went off the deep end. So, you know.
Rolling in the deep in a whole new way. Yeah, no, I definitely get that. Mine I'm doing really good about, so I can't really say it now. So I'm gonna say my habit is forcing myself to always do better. I wish I wasn't so on myself about always trying to do better. But I'm always trying to like tell myself I have to do better. I have to be better than my last. I have to be better. I have to do better. Not be better than anyone else. Just be better than myself. And unfortunately, I put myself so high. And if I start going back, then it's like, ugh, like it's a bad
good
habit
to
I
have.
find myself in.
It's good to have something like that, you know, to keep yourself motivated, keep yourself going. But you know, you also got give yourself a break. I mean, you know, you can only get so much better, and sometimes you actually gotta back off, go with the flow of things,
Mm-hmm.
in order to actually get better. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It's
And-
not gonna sound stupid, but you know,
No, it doesn't sound that stupid. It's just for like me, like instead of going out and like actually chill or taking a day off. Ever since Brittany's birthday, I've yet to had a day off, and a day off in this next upcoming week does not seem plausible. But and it's like I also like put myself to like if I can't get this done, I fail. Or in the sense like today I couldn't ride 5 miles on my bike because I rode 10 yesterday, 10 miles in an hour on a bike, and then it's like today I couldn't hit 5, and I was like. I should have done better. I had a goal of 5 and I couldn't beat the 5, and it's like I just went 10 miles the other day. It's like
they make public transportation. You know, you can like get. In a bus
I
and
wanted to
drive.
work out. Like I wanted to work out, but one of my habits before that I've really definitely stopped was stressing out about things around me, like things I can't control. That was one big one I was dealing with a while ago. But that's something I learned to be like I can't control any of that. Why bother stressing about it? So that was a big one, and especially like now this time of year with everything going on in the world falling down around us. I'm like the most chilled out person about it. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, how are we gonna pay for food?" Well, if we do this, if we budget this, we can get this done. They're like, "But what if this changes?" If it changes, we'll just change with it. It's like we can't do anything about it. Like, no, stop stressing about it. There's no need to. Like,
it's pretty
I
much
sound like a
something
pothead. I'm just like,
yeah, it's
bro.
something I raised you. That's just the way I raised you guys. Is you know, you worry about shit when it happens. You know, you got a bill coming up, you can't afford it. You know, how am I going to pay for this bill? How am I going to buy this food? You know, worry about the shit when it happens. When
Yeah.
it comes down to where you're at the grocery store to buy food and you ain't got the money, okay, then you figure it out because 99.9% of the time, it works out.
Yeah.
Something pops up, something happens, something comes along, and it works out.
Yeah.
You know, and you just spent all that week stressing and basically killing yourself slowly for no damn reason whatsoever. You
Yeah,
know?
I got a
some
comment
people
on my
well,
hair about the
that's kind
greatness.
of a weird way to live a life, but you know, it's worked for us. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
we have bills due and we weren't sure how to pay it, and somehow like I get a bonus on my paycheck out of nowhere. It's like, oh, you know, or I get overtime. You know, it
Yeah.
always worked its way out somehow or another. And you just gotta
Yeah,
stay positive.
I was having this problem earlier today. Budget's a little tight, and although you know I'm back in the background, usually they don't you don't get the invoice until 30 days after. So I was like, oh, damn, I was kind of hoping to have that money now, but I guess I'll have to wait for it. But don't I have a meeting with another client today, and he's got some work for me to do tomorrow. So I was like, oh, okay, good. That's what I needed when I needed it. So that's
Yeah,
nice.
exactly.
Some of it is also pride too. Like, you know, I could stand to turn on my Uber delivery app more often, just bang out a few deliveries each day, just locally. I mean, I don't even have to leave the apartment to go searching. I just would just turn it on and like, I guess I would go. And I'm not saying this is your thing, but I mean, pride is something we all have to deal with, and I think if we can find ways to not have that pride, that's one way to be a little bit more chill about things and to be okay with doing things.
I don't know what you know religious preferences. I know what George's is. I know mine, but you know, pride is one of the biggest sins in the Bible. To be honest with you, you know, if you have any religious beliefs whatsoever, you know that pride is what's going to get you in more trouble than pretty much anything else. You know, but yeah, everything. If you stay positive, you know, everything in the atmosphere, anything around us, including us, we're energy. You know, you put positive energy out, 99% of the time you get positive energy back. You know.
Yeah,
And
my
if you
energy is sexually charged.
I don't care about your personal problems.
So story. So my last sales job before I met all y'all, it was a luxury watch position, and The reason why I had taken that job was because like a friend of mine who was a manager at a previous job, he reaches out to me and says, "Hey, do you want to do this? But it's going to be full time." I says, "Okay, I'll do it. But I guess I can't do my freelancing and background stuff." Now you're caught up. And one of the person, he picked up a watch. I forget which one, but you know, it cost a pretty penny. And we're sitting down in the pickup room. It's not like a store or anything like that. We were in a WeWork, those like those places where you can rent out office space and share with other businesses.
Oh, yeah.
And so we book out a boardroom whenever somebody wants to come and pick up the watch. So he's opening it up and he's inspecting it, and I'm making conversation. So I said, so I'm just curious, sir, what is the reason for this particular watch? He says, well, I'm celebrating a clean bill of health. I just beat cancer. I said, well, that's wonderful. I mean, I know this is going to be another delicate question, sir, but you know, what was the feeling that you had coming out of it? And he said, well, you know, I promised myself that I would stop stressing out over the little things. And, you know, my perspective completely changed, you know, having that life altering experience and that genuine fear of death.
Yeah.
By the way, sorry, I noticed there's like a little bit of a crease in the band of the watch here. Did that come with it, or was that? Oh well, sir, that's just leather. You know Oh, okay. It's just. I don't know. I just don't feel like that crease should be there. And then I was just like, well, he returns the watch like a week later. I'm like, I did not realize the irony at the time.
Wow, I was like, damn, this is a good story. God. Like, I know I heard it before, but wow. And then it's like, dude, is this supposed to be there? It's like, don't stress over the little things, and then immediately just bam. Okay, cool.
2 weeks before I realized how ironic that was.
Yeah.
But it's good that you didn't just take him as a guy full of shit and then just walk away. Like, you were actually like, you listened to that going, okay. And then seeing it happen, you're like, okay, well, I'll at least take the knowledge that was presented to me. So that was cool.
I can only wonder if he realized that at some point.
He didn't. I guarantee you he didn't. No.
Like that, it didn't even sink in whatsoever.
No, you know? If he's right there doing that, no. He's probably still going like, it has a crease in it again. I returned the last one 2 years ago about this.
Yeah,
those creases are the best part. That's what makes it distinguished. But you know, yeah. I didn't say what my habit was.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So the habit that I would love to work on is not sleeping in the morning. It's
okay.
I don't know, like the alarm will go off and I'll stand up, I'll walk around, turn it off the alarm, and it's like somebody else is pulling my strings. I just right back into bed and out for another hour or so, and I find that frustrating. I feel like my wake up is tried so hard not to think about chop suey, but it just
yeah.
So but getting up in the morning, man, I just like I wish no matter how like, you know, tired or messed up my head might be, I'm trying to prioritize not sleeping in unless it's like a Saturday I got nothing to do, or a Sunday I got nothing to do.
Yeah.
But during the rest of the week, especially because I know I work for myself for the most part, I feel like I'm giving myself too many luxuries in a day, and too many like easy rewards too, just to like branch out a little bit, like check TikTok or play my phone game all before I've eaten breakfast or done my morning workout. So like all of those little things that, you know, add a little bit of dopamine affect my ability to be motivated to do some of the harder stuff throughout the day. So that's what I want to work on.
Okay. Now, I think it's so weird because like we're the exact opposite in that sense. It's like I don't get sleep because I refuse to sleep in. I will be up at 2 a.m. and go to sleep. My body will force me to get up at 6 or at 7, and I cannot go back to sleep. And it's meaning like I got to get work done. I already have TikToks filmed, edited, got Brittany's stuff edited, got all this stuff done. It's like 11 o'clock. I got to go live in an hour, and I'm just finally starting to eat. And even then, I'm trying to eat. I'm still trying to work on the background work of everything else. Like, it's so weird because like it's literally the exact opposite of that. There's no reward. The reward is getting it done, and then it leads on to midnight, and I'm going, my body's gonna force me to get up at 7. I'm not gonna get 8 hours of sleep. So yeah, that's cool. Charles, did you think of a habit that you wish that you could change or want to change?
Yeah.
Ooh, what you got?
I'm always afraid of people always being mad at me for any reason. And if I think that, and I'm always asking people if they're mad at me for something or anything like that.
Yeah, I think that
You
would be a
got
good habit to try to stop, like, not even just like for anyone else's sake, but it's for yours. 'Cause if you're always worried about like people's opinions, like me and you, 9 years, dude, nothing's happening, and you still ask to this day. Like sometimes it's like, if I was mad at you, and it's like, I'm never mad at you. If I was mad at you, I wouldn't text you back, or I would just flat out let you know, like, we're gonna take a Halo time off. We're gonna take a break. If Halo 2 Legendary didn't do it, and you shoot me in the back 8 million times in Call of Duty didn't do it, it's not gonna happen. But no, I think
you
that's
gotta
definitely a good one to try to
Usually
work
the
on.
only time I ever shoot you in the back in Call of Duty is because I'm fucking around with you.
Exactly why I'm on a kill streak, you little bastard.
it's easier to sit there and say, don't worry about what other people think. And unfortunately, I mean, we're human, so we still do concern ourselves with what other people think. But here's my thing: if they don't like you for the way you are, or they're unhappy for something you did, if they don't have the common decency to tell you, then fuck them. Yeah, that's their problem. Like yours, you can't go through life stressing what other people think about you and what's going on and their opinions of you, because trust me, there's so many opinions out there about me that I could give a shit less. I really don't care. And it's not easy to do, and I
No,
get that, but
as hard as can be.
yeah.
Always.
It's most dealing with people that I have to deal with at work, especially when it's a bunch of punk ass kids that they don't like when even though I'm doing the stuff that I'm supposed to, but because I don't know.
When I go down there, I'll fight them for you. I'll go to prison.
I know people there if they could probably talk shit about me and my girlfriend just because either we complained about something and they don't like it, even though we have justifiable reasons why we complain about something, or because I'm freaking doing something or stuff that I'm supposed to be doing, and my manager decides to put me in a position I shouldn't. Yeah, and people are complaining because I'm not there freaking helping them when they freaking are perfectly capable of doing that same shit themselves.
Yeah, that
exactly.
definitely sounds like a their problem. That shouldn't ever get put on you.
You're talking about punk ass kids that freaking know they have a lot brought up with work ethics, and most of them are probably jealous for what you do got and what they don't have.
Especially when you're referring to them as punk ass kids. Yeah, no.
80% of the people I work with at the restaurant I work with are like under the age of 18, for Christ's sake. Even when both my freaking managers are freaking younger than me.
Yeah.
Punk ass kids still masturbate your mama's titty. Don't even worry about it. You might want to edit that out.
Welcome, corn dog.
You better make sure that's an official request.
Yeah.
No, you keep it. I'm your boss. You keep that shit in. I'm your boss until you don't want to be. Yeah. So no, I think those are all nice habits that we could try to work on. Especially like those are all reasonable habits I think we could all like try to conquer. If you have any habits that you want to make public or like wish you can conquer, let us know in the comment section down below on any social media platforms you're listening to this on. We would love to know. And you see how supportive we are. We're assholes, but we are supportive. So we might be able to help you with that. Or at least give you some words of wisdom. From a gamer to another. I'm assuming gamer. So I got another just a community question, and then I wanna roast. I wanna do some roasting. I'm gonna roast my own dad. So which one do you like the least? Spiders, snakes, or bees?
Bees.
Snakes.
Spiders. Okay, so me and Joseph are the only ones that like snakes. Snakes is like no snakes. Like bees.
Wait, you asked the least, right?
Yeah, the least.
Okay, I like snakes the least. Okay, just to make sure.
Yeah. I'm actually definitely terrified of snakes. I'm
not afraid of snakes. I've actually used to play with a bunch of the garden ones that would hang out in my backyard. I was like Steve Irwin.
Yeah. I currently got 20 of them living in the house right now. So yeah.
20? What?
Yeah, about 20. Yeah, you got about 20.
I'm gonna kill that man.
You can tell you 28, something like that. Yeah, right.
I'm gonna kill it, man. Yeah,
Plus lizards and spiders and everything else. So.
Chinese zodiac. I'm born year of the snake, so like there are, I guess, snake-like qualities I have, I suppose, if Chinese zodiac has any actual value, which
I'm
I
a-
think it does.
I'm a rabbit.
But it's not like I dislike snakes. I think they're cool. I think they're neat. I mean, but it's just if
They
you
stay
ask
on
out
your
of the
side of
three,
the
which one
fence,
do I
you
like
stay
the
on
least? It's
yours.
gonna be it's still the snake.
Yeah. When it's all said and done, I just wanted to know everyone's least favorite. I figured an easy question, general like actual think about question, and then a just a little a free for question. But yeah, I'm actually definitely terrified of snakes. I'm afraid of a few things. And one of the things was heights and snakes. And I've been able to conquer the fear of heights very well. I've stood up on a cliffside, literally hanging off the cliffside. I have leaned over edges of high places and did not get afraid, even places that had no rails. I used to not be able to walk over a 6-foot bridge. My legs would shake. I would start crawling, even though I couldn't do it. And I could walk across it as easy as can be. So I've conquered that, but snakes I just cannot do. And I don't know what it is. It's like I can watch a worm. I could see all this stuff. Fine. A snake though, I just can't do it. And like I drove past one the other day on a bike, and I thought it was a stick at first, and it raised its head at me, and I can't tell you how fast my wheels started going. I was gone. I was out like a light. I couldn't do it.
I found out I'm claustrophobic.
Really?
Yeah. As part of Jen's birthday celebration, we went to
Went in a
an
box?
escape room.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, what would you say?
I
What
said
did
a
you say?
box.
A box.
Because honestly, like that's how a lot of people find out is they joke around, they go in a box, and then they panic and they freak out.
Yeah.
So
Well, the escape room was actually pretty dope. Like, because a lot of these escape rooms, it's like we got to get out of this this time chamber, and we have to solve this Sudoku puzzle that's on the chalkboard. Like, it's like the solutions are not relevant to the context you're in. But this one was really cool. It was like an alien spaceship. But at the beginning of it, the attendant says, "Okay, we're just gonna have to bind your hands." Using these, those plastic things that they use to arrest people on airplanes.
Yeah.
So they bound our hands, one to each side. And he says, so if you're claustrophobic, one of your hands can be let out. I'm like, I'm letting one of my hands out. Like, it's an escape room. They weren't gonna do anything, but I was still like kind of freaking out. And then there's one part we have to crawl through a little tunnel. And I was able to go in first, but as soon as like Jen and the other guy were behind me, I'm
They
like, guys,
blocked
back up. There was like the idea of like I can't like
Go
control
back. Yeah.
movement. That was frightening to me. And then I hear about those stories of people that are like trapped in a cave for a week, where they're just like head down for a week, and somebody has to go in and like pull them up. I don't know how somebody could survive a week like that. I would.
Why are you watching those stories?
I scroll through TikTok, okay? Things come up.
I love how this man's able to reference a story he watched, like he searched for it. He's like, man trapped upside down.
Oh no, I would not go look at. But like between TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, okay,
Yeah,
I can't escape it.
Yeah, no, I get it. Like I actually do get it, but it's like it was a weird reference that you immediately knew what
At least
to go
I
to.
know, right?
Yeah, I mean, at least you know now.
I ain't going in, caves.
And that's good. Now I know if I ever go up there, never to go to an escape room where our hands are bound. Also, never try to do a weird video with you where our hands are cuffed behind our backs, because now I know how that's going to end.
Or we especially have to do the video for the content.
I mean, yeah, no, I'll get you to do it. There'll be a paper signed about you doing it. So if you deck me, my lawyers, also known as my brother, who has actual no legal knowledge at all, will come after you. Yeah. So now that I got a few questions, Mr. Corndog. I got a handful of questions I want to throw your way. Just want a simple answer, no long stories. Just gonna be a bunch of random questions. And yeah, let me know when you are ready.
Or go for it.
Pineapple on pizza.
No.
Tomato or chicken soup.
Tomato.
Dogs or cats.
Dogs.
Cookies or crackers.
Cookies.
Night at home or night out.
Home.
Camping or fishing.
Fishing.
do it yourself or pay someone to do it?
That's what I'm doing. Do it myself.
So do it yourself.
That's what I got your mother for. But I mean, okay, sure.
When in doubt, call the experts.
Yeah,
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Okay. I'm trying to. There's one more. A night. It's like a night out, or a night out with the ladies. A night with the boys or a night out with the ladies.
I'd say a tough one, but I'd say probably not out with the boys.
Okay. Those are all the ones I kind of got. I was trying to run off of what James has been giving us. I watched an old episode of the podcast, and he kept mixing them up, and he was like, tea or coffee? I'm not going to ask that because I know you'll reach through the screen and punch me because it's coffee. Someone gives you tea, it's getting thrown in their face. So I already know that's the answer.
It better be iced tea with sweetener and lemon in it.
So like I already knew that answer, especially whenever I start doing my my coffee live streams on TikTok. Whenever we hit 1,000 followers, we're doing a 30-minute coffee stream. It will be a 30-minute coffee break is the title of it. It is created by the principle of missing out, so it runs for 30 minutes. It will be live only on TikTok, and if you miss the 30 minutes, you can never find it again because it will be gone. It'll be deleted afterwards, so the fear of missing out will be there. It is there to take your 30-minute coffee break. Everything's open. You're able to do whatever you want, and it's just a little coffee break. It doesn't matter what time of day. You need a 30-minute break. You take the 30-minute break, go live. Timer starts on the clock, and if you don't want to catch up later on it, you can't. So you need to stick around and see what's going to come out of it. So, yeah, it was a thought I'd done about 2 years ago on Facebook.
Doing that. That'd be pretty cool.
And TikTok is now making it really accessible. There's a way to like save your previous live streams, but I don't want to do that because the whole business principle of a fear of missing out is so strong and valuable. I just don't want to miss it. There's Grumpy. Yeah, Grumpy. My dad has a Grumpy tattoo. Yeah, I'll get a tattoo too. I'm thinking of like a dick and then underneath it have my dad's initials. I think it would just
Grumpy Dick.
Grumpy Dick. I think it would be funny. But Mr. Condog, do you have a question for the host of the podcast that you would like to ask?
I got a question for all three of those assholes. So,
yay!
Question number one: what is your favorite hobby?
Joseph. Charles.
I need to think.
Gaming.
Gaming? It's a hobby? Shut
You
up.
say streaming or dreaming?
It's a gaming.
Oh, gaming. Okay.
Yeah, gaming. That's
what I'm either on my freaking Xbox, my 3DS, or my Switch.
Yeah, so that's a good
I
hobby.
got you. Yeah.
My favorite hobby is anything outdoors, honestly. Hiking is one that I could say that I would rather do that every day of the week than game, because eventually gaming is just, it's so much stress versus hiking. It's something new every day.
I relieve my stress besides listening to freaking metal.
That's enough.
Yeah, I mean, gaming was kind of like the first thing that came to my mind, but I was thinking like, okay, even if I don't do it as often, what's something that I enjoy the most? Like walking around cities.
Exploring.
Yeah, I like exploring.
Yeah.
I love the architecture. So anytime we can go to like a downtown district somewhere and just check out like that, the
You know
hub
what?
of
I
any
think
city.
I have to change it. Yeah, I think mine would be exploring, because like I love hiking, but I love exploring new cities. Every time we go to a new city, we have to explore.
Yeah, that's the same thing down here. So many old towns down here that I can go to and just walk up and down. Even if the businesses are closed, it's still really interesting to see. And they're starting to uncover a lot of cemeteries around here that's been shielded by trees for like who knows how long. And like you drive down the road, it's like, oh, there's a cemetery there full of stumps. But I like going to old cemeteries and stuff and checking out everything too. So yeah. So question number 2 would be favorite cars. Favorite car, not cars. I don't need to hear all your damn listings.
I like the Pontiac GTC.
If you own one car, One vehicle. What would that vehicle be?
2004 Dodge Neon, because I had one when I first moved down here, and that freaking thing was fast as shit. Because apparently it was classified as a sports car because there's something that was under the hood.
You have an imagination. You have friends. A neon. Come on.
Let me look at a Dodge
Fine.
Neon. Hang on, I gotta search this up. Editor, pop this up on the screen whenever. it's
2004 Neon. I mean, guns granted, they are good cars. I just,
there.
I would think,
2004.
we go.
I would like to get
All
one
right.
of these I'd like to get like a old school muscle car. Freaking God forbid, I'd like to get one of these like newer Lamborghini looking Corvette looking cars.
My favorite car's always been the 70 Challenger with the original 346. That's what my favorite one was. Always been. But now I want something with the freaking like the new Challengers that have the all right, Jordan.
I'm gonna have to go. Like, I want to sit there and say like what I would really like enjoy, but honestly, like my dream car would be a 1968 Roadrunner Cuttail. I love, they are so smooth. I got to ride in the passenger seat of one, and it was somehow, it was not loud. It was a nice purr, and it felt like you're driving on a cloud for such an older model. And the way this guy had it done up on the inside too was so nice. But the most important thing is those older cars, you can turn them into modern day so easily without losing some of the good things about the older cars.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love it. But the standard answer would be a 1968 Cuttail Roadrunner.
Oh, cool.
Joseph, did you say car?
No, my dream car is the 2001 Aston Martin V12 Vanquish. It was featured in one of the James Bond games. It was Nightfire. I don't know if if it was in one of the movies that came out as well. I didn't see all of them.
What year was it?
But that was really the first time that I saw a car that I actually liked. Because I'm not a car driver. I don't drive cars. Some runners up would include Tesla. I'd love me a Tesla. I'd love a
that's
self-drive.
what I was thinking.
I would love a self-driving car at some point. That to me would feel. I would feel like my life is actually like entered into the next phase when I can get a self-driving car. And I think I'm going to be alive to see it, but it's going to be a while. And then
They're out now. I mean, they're out. In fact, they even got self-driving tractor trailers and stuff right now too. But you're never going to.
I gotta afford it. Yeah.
You better stop being a background person and start being like the main character.
Well, I mean, gotta start somewhere. So Joseph,
most
what year
people started
did you
that
say?
way. They started in the background and someone liked their face or their attitude or their acting, and they went from there. It's just
You can actually get upgraded in background. Like if you go in and give it your all and show up with like good costumes and props and stuff like that, really make an effort. Yeah, people get upgraded.
Yeah. And then
so it
you
does
start
happen.
getting like little side rules, being like just order at the counter, like, "Hi, I want a biscuit." Okay, go, and then you actually get to talk.
You
and
get
then-
upgraded into if you say 10 words or more. Like if they
'cause
give you lines.
most don't even can't even make eye contact with the cameras or anything like that. So if you get to where you actually make eye contact with the cameras or a word or two, yeah, you're definitely moving up on the chain. That's for sure. I'm gonna be the next Italian movie. I'm gonna be the fat boss. They're gonna call me Fat Daddy.
Oh,
Daddy going down takes over the town.
You can't tomato die. Oh man. So I'm looking at Joseph's car E1s, and I found one, and it's $3.5 million.
Oh yeah, you see it. They're up there.
Unless you're an Uber driver and you rent one.
It's a
I guess.
dream car.
Well, the nice thing is Charles get his for probably about $200.
I'm not. No, he's not joking. I searched it up.
I mean, the neons are not that expensive. He
No,
probably
and
find that car for about
but
$200.
that's good. Like, he could get his dream car actually affordable versus mine that's a $40,000 car, and Joseph that's not even in his price point at all. So it's like, and then yours is
sorry for
Out
answering
of
the
all of us,
question.
Charles
to
the only
the-
guy who go out and get his.
What's your dream car? And if you don't mind having a realistic budget for this fantasy question,
Unless you're an Uber driver.
I mean, no matter how I see it, though, you answered the question, and that's what we wanted. We wanted some answered
Exactly.
questions.
He's honest. He was
And
honest. That's
Shout
we
out, by
gotta
the
get
way,
better
to the
at that.
Honda Civic. Like, if I had to go for a more pedestrian option, actually not pedestrian because that's, you're using your legs, but like a more like, accessible option. A lot of my friends in high school were into the Honda Civic because it was very easy to customize, and a lot of them were into like, sports, sport cars, sport racing.
mhm.
So for a car like that, yeah, I have respect for that.
Yeah, definitely. I think if I had to like go for something, I mean mine's still pretty reasonable, but for something I could like literally go up to a market and buy right now, it would probably just be a 2018 Chevy Tahoe would probably be it. Like those things are bulky, they're made to last, like they're so good. Or the Jeep Cherokees, but honestly, like still the Roadrunner for me and Brittany, I'm totally fine with. But if it's like if we start building a family, then it's like, the Tahoe's looking pretty good. It's like might wanna stretch out that car because I'm not selling the dream car. So yeah, it will be whatever one comes first. Do you have any more questions?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, we answered all the questions. Okay, so he's now banned from the podcast because no one likes to ask us
Yay.
questions. no one asks us questions. No.
I'd also like to someday get a car that's at least somewhat close to what the General Lee was, because me and my dad like Dukes of Hazzard.
Okay.
Yeah, they had the Challenger and some. They had the Charger and some too.
Yeah, it's
So,
a Charger, the Dodge Charger.
Yeah,
the,
it
the
was.
Challenger was the original thing for it, and somehow the Charger got put in its place. But some of them pictures they show was actually a Challenger, and not the Charger.
Dodge Charger. I'm guessing it's 1970 model because that's the first number that. Nope, not that one. Okay.
68.
Look up the General Lee.
I think-
Not the faking
Yeah,
historical.
the General Lee, I think, was a 68, possibly. I think it might have been a 70. I can't get my mouse on my other screen to even do anything with.
Yeah, it's all good. No, I was just looking for like a good reference to just look at. I'm actually.
But the 346 pack was very limited in them and stuff. That's what kind of makes it unique. I mean, you can go to the big V8, but
Yeah.
the 6 pack was actually pretty good engine for its time. So, but
Oh, yeah.
it's just simple,
Yeah.
sweet.
In my
Yeah, you can probably afford that. You can probably afford a Hellcat, so you know.
Yeah, I'm hoping that if I do get this Roadrunner in the future, that I'm hoping someone like tried to upgrade the way they want, where it's like all smart technology, and it's like, yo, dude, I upgraded it, it's worth a lot, but no seller will buy it. I'll be like, 40,000, buy it, and it's like, it's all suited up for me. Just have to change paint color. I want it black, and it has to be.
My ass in those 30 years, and I think maybe you guys, one of you guys got to get freaking rich here to take care of Daddy. I mean,
I'm trying.
I'm waiting.
Our last video we did, we only posted 5 actual videos this year, and the last one gained me over 60 followers that now I have to donate like $16 to Feed America. Selfish bastards. So now I gotta feed America after donating to Mr. Beast. So yeah, gotta sit there and do that. But we're trying. I'm trying to get rich, make that big dollars, and never see a single penny of it. I was talking to Brittany about this. I was like, okay, if I hit 10,000 subscribers, what do you think is something that people would love to see? Like, why don't you try making your game in real life? Making Dead by Daylight in real life? Cool. Am I allowed to beat the shit out of people in real life? Because that's what the killers do. They hook people. She's like, no, but like making the sets and then having like a little game you could do, like a hide and seek thing. And I was like,
airsoft and stuff like that.
yeah, I was
kinda.
like, you could do things like that. And she's like, you could do that. I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, but the
I like
cost would...
airsoft.
Yeah, I mean, airsoft is fun.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, how could we make it affordable to do? She's like, is there like one map in there that's iconic? I was like, well, we have the property in Arkansas we can use. I was like, and building one little set area for it wouldn't be that hard. I was like, we could actually do this. But then like, I'm still looking at the cost going.
Woods, we got the mountains, we got the, we definitely make stuff.
Oh yeah,
easy
there's
for you.
there's a map on Dead by Daylight called the Red Forest, and it's literally laid out perfectly like our place. The only issue we would have is like there's like killer shacks and loop areas, and that's where the creative process would be. But I've already got a hold of a team, and they're talking about like you can put concrete posts into like where you want your structure at, and then like an inflatable wall. so you can have like an inflatable wall that you can remove and stuff, but that's just there. But then like for your jumping spots, it's concrete in the ground, so people can actually like take a beating on that wall spot. And I was like, oh my god, you people are smart, like that could actually work. So yeah, if we hit 10,000 subscribers and I actually make it public, I might, but I'm afraid if I make the video, people are gonna do it. Like that's what I'm afraid of, that I make the video and people actually subscribe and we have to do it. But it also leads me closer to beating Mr. Beast's gaming channel. So I'm like, it's worth it though. It is worth it. But we do gotta sit there and start wrapping up our podcast today. It was definitely a fun time. So Joseph, where can people find you?
Head on over to giantenemycompany.com. Thank you.
I want a jingle. I want a jingle next time. Can we make an edited clip? Not for this podcast, but like an edited clip whenever it's time to shout out people and it's like, go over to Joseph! Go to giantenemycompany.com! And it's like, it's classic like 80s. .com! And yeah, just like, man, that would be great. Charles, where can people find you?
If you just want to watch either any of my live streams, that wrestling related stuff, or whenever I can actually work on freaking videos I've been trying to work on for the past 2 days, but I just haven't had a chance to because of my freaking work schedule and everything and other shit going on. You can go to my YouTube channel, it's CG Lone Wolf, which is at 157 subs right now.
Yeah. Okay, Corn Dog, where can people find you?
You can find me Corn Dog 1973 on TikTok and just Corn Dog on Facebook. And there'll be some more to come out here soon, but right now that's what I got.
I can't wait for that. If you can find me at Skull Hunter Games, anywhere you search it up, you're gonna find me. If you find a guy that kind of looks like me, but it's named Jordan Mole, that is me 100% on Twitter. So yeah, make sure to follow that because that's obviously what I'm trying to do. I'm on a 90-day challenge and I'm already failing because I'm supposed to post every day for 90 days and it's not working. So I don't know the outcome of it. A bunch of streamers said that I'll be punished, and I don't know how, but now they're making me do a collab with them, so I think that's my punishment. But
Maybe
yeah.
if you post those freaking clips I sent you from freaking the last time you played Halo 3 on Legendary, then you wouldn't have to worry about anything.
Yeah, the hell, man.
That has nothing to do with Twitter, though. It's
I
a
would give
Twitter
you
challenge.
something to post on your freaking YouTube channel because you don't post for shit.
I already post stuff on YouTube channels, things that build over 60 subscribers in one video. That's what I post. I post bangers, bro, bangers. But this podcast, you can also find that at Skull Hunter Podcast. Anywhere you search your podcast at, you can find us. And a special thank you to Anchor for sponsoring the podcast. They've been here since day 3. I've always messed it up. They have not been here since day 1, but it feels like it because they're close to our heart. You can start getting your Anchor podcasts done. All you have to do is log into Anchor, put a little type in. Make sure you get your Apple ID connected to it immediately before you upload your first podcast, because you will not get another chance. Anchor is still trying to work on that. They're actually working closely with Spotify because Spotify has bought Anchor, so now they own it. So they're trying to figure out ways to make it easier for the consumers. That's us. So special thank you to them. They are still working on a bunch of new features. They're adding tons more as we speak. So make sure if you want to start your podcast, do it now. Talk about your fears. Talk about your fetishes, please. Talk about the things you're interested in. Make it your own. Start your podcast today. Go to anchor.fm or download the Anchor app. That is anchor.fm or download the Anchor app. Guys, we did it. Successful podcast. Scream us out. Goodbye, everybody!
See ya.